their curves. That little special place between their legs that I just love to listen. Look, I don't discriminate against the LGBTQ people. I just know what I like. So I do what I like. It's what comes natural to me.
So you wouldn't have a problem with me liking women then?
Wait, what?
So I've been thinking. I'm listening. A lot has happened, and our friends and family don't really seem to be mixing well. And let's just.
What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing you, boy, definitely follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at A Connection TV. Yeah. And like this video because I need y'all to. When y'all engage in the video, it gives or it sends a signal to YouTube to, you know, boost the engagement and the viewership of the video. So definitely hit that heart button. That would be amazing. And subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I've decided to make this channel be about reviews and reviews. Yeah. Yeah, and y'all will get to see like clips of my shows, but that's what this channel is gonna be based about. Me talking to y'all, because some of y'all like when I talk to y'all. But we need to talk about Chris Rock's live. Chris Rock live, okay? Chris Rock finally responds to Will Smith after a year, right? Or however long it's been. I don't know if y'all know where I'm about to go with this, but we're gonna talk about it. Now, if y'all are passionate about this topic, if y'all don't care about this topic, whatever it is about this topic, definitely get into it, because I mean, we're gonna stay and talk about it, all right? Let me let y'all know how I feel about it. First off, I love the Oscars. If you don't know, I'm into film. I have my own online streaming platform called WatchACTV.com, and we produce an original scripted content that we upload on a weekly basis. It's a subscription-based platform where we have apps, and we have apps on ROKU, FireStick, iPhone, and Android, right? So I'm into film. Film is what I love. Film is my like bread and butter. Film is like my passion. I'm into film. So I watch the award shows. I watch the Oscars. And that particular time, though, no, I was sitting there watching the Oscars. And when that happened, I was completely shocked by it. Because I thought it was a stage. I thought it was like a fluke. I thought, you know, it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I thought. I just like, what? No, this is not the case. Like, what just happened? Like, you know, I just thought it was a fluke. And at the time that I watched it, I want to say that my cable didn't record it, or it didn't happen. Like, I didn't see it on my cable, but I heard about it. And so I was like going back trying to figure it out, and then it like cut, and like something happened, and then all of a sudden it was like, keep my wife's name out your mother and mouth. And it was just weird. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, what? No, not Will. No, not Will. Like, not Will. What? No. Like, this is what I was doing. Like, on the Oscars, what are we talking about? Are we bringing the neighborhood talk to the Oscars? Are we bringing the sit on the porch looking at people fight across the parking lot to the Oscars? What? Are we bringing World Star to the Oscars? What? No! I think, honestly, I'm the only person in this world that believes that in that moment when Chris Rock said that about G.I. Jane, that he was actually complimenting her. I think I'm the only one. I think I'm the only one. And oh well, if I'm the only one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I took that. She looks amazing with a baldy. Why in my mind would I take that as, oh, he trying to be funny? Like, G.I. Jane was a boss in her movie. Jada Pinkett is a boss. Why didn't we think that? Like, I don't understand. Like, why did it become this like thing about alopecia and, oh, she's suffering from like, what? Like, his energy wasn't even that. Like, his energy wasn't even like, oh, You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm about to get these motherfuckers now. It was like, yo, shout out to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. They in the audience. Then let's get, you know, I'm thinking about it. I just saw Chris Rock live, and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, let's dig a little deeper, because if they were boycotting the Oscars, if the whole thing and the tension between them started from the boycotting of the Oscars and him not being the host, why are they at the Oscars now? Why? Because the Venus and Serena Williams movie and he's actually about to win something? We're not boycotting the Oscars now, so why are we there? In any comedian way, like, you gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Like, you're gonna talk about it, but at the same time, give her a compliment. And that's how I took that. Y'all may feel some sort of way, and y'all may not agree, but we can adopt similar connections despite our differences, because that's what I felt in that moment. And for Chris Rock to get slapped, it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make, it's like, what? And then what does that do for you, Will Smith? Does that validate you with the black community? I'm asking. Maybe y'all can, you know, does it validate you with the black community? Because some people in the black community feel that you're soft. Does it make you feel hard that you smack another black man on national television? There's so many like double standards and triple standards and quadruple standards to this. Like, Will Smith can smack another black man on TV, but be damned if he smack a woman on TV. Be damned if he smacked a handicapped person on TV. Be damned if he smacked a white person on TV. But he could smack another black man. That's okay for the nigga. He could do that. But let him do anything else, and he would be held to the cross. But it's okay, because, you know, Chris Rock deserved it, and Chris Rockson has said anything about his wife, so he deserved to get slapped. What? It's very interesting how we as a people, you know, the name of his stand-up special is Selective Outrage. I feel like as a people, we have selective understanding, or selective support. I think it's very strong in all caps in the black community. Selective support. We pick and choose who we want to support and when we're going to support them based on minuscule reasons. That's just fact. And you know, when I watched this special, I just knew that this whole thing was going to be centered around Will Smith. And I was prepared to be involved in this. Why? Because no matter what, anyone has the ability to talk about what they need to talk about when they need to talk about it. And I think that's the best thing for this man to do, is to make a coin on it. What? You embarrass me like that in front of national TV, in front of all these people, and a lot of them are white, at the Oscars, where we were like, all white Oscars, or whatever the hashtag was at that particular time. The night where, you know, Jada Pinkett was saying, ban, 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 boycott, 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 because the Oscars was all white. This was the blackest Oscars we ever got. And the first time we get the blackest Oscars ever, we do some nigga shit. But we as a people have selective support. Because in his comedy special, which wasn't by no means all about Will Smith, I think it's like 7 minutes dancing around the topic. And to be quite honest, if you watch the last thing, because I just got finished watching it, out of 7 of those minutes, 6 or 5 of those minutes, he complimented them the whole time. Chris Rock is better than me. And I think he's always going to be in a good position of being on a high standing, because not only did he make money from this, it's #1 right now on Netflix. He has every right and the power to do so. But the way he handled that situation, he's better than me. I don't care how big Will Smith is. And you know what? I say selective support, right? This is the reason why I say selective support. His thing is called selective outrage, right? I say selective support. I say selective support because Dave Chappelle in my opinion, had a horrible stand-up thing where majority of the time he spent, in my opinion, disrespecting groups of individuals, right? Not giving about different groups of people, speaking his opinion about it and letting it be that. He was speaking highly on where black people stand in terms of like LGBTQ community. So they were down to support all of that. But when trans people had a problem with what Dave Chappelle was saying, oh, we're wrong, oh, we're sensitive, oh, we're not supposed to be what? We're not normal anyway. We just got to deal with it. Oh, the gays are just doing too much. The gays are just doing too much. The gays are just doing too much. Dave Chappelle is right. We understand him. That's selective support. That's selective support. But then Chris Rock makes mention of G.I. Jane and, oh, beat his ass, and Will Smith goes up there and slaps him, and, oh, Will Smith is in the right. What? We have a man sit here and physically assault another man, and he in the right. Dave Chappelle verbally, in some sort of way, I mean, I got what he was trying to do, so I don't want y'all to think I'm slow, because a lot of y'all are slower than me. I get what he was trying to do, but in more ways than one, he did ultimately end up offending groups and groups and groups of people with his words. But we were supposed to be silent and mute. We weren't supposed to say anything. We were very sensitive. Well, because I didn't really care. He wasn't talking to me. I just didn't laugh at nothing he said. The only time I laughed is when he said the lesbian had titties on the thing. That's the only time I laughed. I didn't laugh at nothing Dave Chappelle said. None of what he said was funny to me. But all the guys were supposed to shut up. It's comedy. You mean to tell me Will Smith wasn't supposed to shut up? It's comedy? Selective support. But at the end of the day, I'm beating a dead horse, because with regards to me being black and me being gay, I just need to shut up because I'm gay. Selective support. And I'm speaking on my life that I live and dealing with my community, with the people that look like me and the color of my skin. I deal with this every goddamn day. Not only do I have to deal with anger from white people being black, but I got to deal with anger from black people being gay. I get it double times every day. We had to shut up listening to Dave Chappelle. Will Smith had every right to hit Chris Rock. Out of here with that. And so I watched the special because I wanted to see what he was going to talk about. In that whole situation, when it happened to Chris Rock, I'm worried about Chris Rock. I give two about Will Smith. I'm worried about Chris Rock. Chris Rock just got humiliated in front of all these white people by a black man on the blackest night of the Oscars ever. And we are vindicating him and we are validating his actions. But the gays got to shut up and play ball. Out of here with that. What are we talking about here? No. But okay, that's fine. I want to hear what Chris Rock has to say. I don't give a damn how long it's been. You know how many times we talk about things that have happened to us years ago, years and decades ago? We always regurgitate in the past. So you mean to tell me that Chris Rock can't regurgitate the past when it happened to him? What? On national TV. So you know what? Let me go back on national TV and make some coin from what happened to me in the past. Out of here. What are we talking about, black people? Selective support. Oh, Chris Rock should just shut up and leave it alone. It happened a long time ago. Not to y'all. Not to y'all at all. And let it be another person. Let it be me. I would have whooped or attempted to whoop Will Smith's ass. What are you talking about? Security, everybody would have had to peel me off of him. What are we talking about? Chris Rock is better than me. Chris Rock is better than me. But selective support, because black people are like, Chris Rock should have did this and Chris Rock should have did that. And none of y'all know what it's like to get slapped on the Oscar stage at a predominantly white organization. None of y'all know what that's like. So everybody's like, oh, he shoulda, he's a pussy. Will Smith is correct in his actions. Chris Rock should have kept his mouth closed. But the gays gotta shut up. Selective support. I loved Chris Rock Live. I laughed at multiple jokes of the Chris Rock Live. I laughed at his Lululemon jokes about how, you know, the sign says, we don't like discrimination, we don't accept hate, and we don't sexism and racism, all that. And how he was saying that, you know, Lululemon is saying that they love all people. And clearly they don't. They hate the poor because they sell $100 yoga pants. I thought that was funny. The biggest addiction thing that he was talking about, how he says the biggest addiction in life is not opioids, it's attention. Everybody has a social media, damn near everybody has social media. Everybody wants attention. He said, ways to get attention, number one, show your ass. We already know that to be fact. You show a little skin, you got attention. Number two, to be infamous. There's a scandal, school shooting, all that. Number three, to be excellent. He commented on Venus Williams. And, you know, Beyonce could be in that, be excellent, right? And then number 4, he said to be a victim. I completely agreed with everything this man said. This man said a lot in this special. Way more profound and way more understanding than a Dave Chappelle, in my opinion. He said, white men aren't victims. And he was like, he says, when is the last time you went on a black cruise? I just talked about this in my last video. When is the last time you've been on a black airline? Then he talked about, you know, how the whites took over the Capitol and how he was saying, oh, we got to get them out the office. And the people that they wanted to get out the office were them. You know how white people have so much power and they're saying they don't have any at all. That's white privilege in and of itself. You know, he talked about how all we see on commercials are interracial couples now. He talked about Meghan Markle and how Meghan Markle, how he doesn't understand how Meghan Markle didn't know what she was getting into. I thought that bit was peace. It was very telling too of the light-skinned privilege that Meghan Markle has, but she was talking about her issues and her woes in life. I thought that was really, really dope and really, really telling. He talks about how the Kardashians like black people way more than black people like black people. What? Oh, that man was talking some ish. It was so good to hear. It really was. He talked about how the Kardashians accepted Caitlyn so quickly and what would be the difference in between him being an artist and being around gay people and understanding of gay people. I respected this man saying this. I really did. Then he talked about his brother, how his brother, as a truck driver, would have a different response to his father wanting to become a woman. I thought that was a great moment. Chris Rock stated that the United States has it worse than Ukraine. He went into that, and I understood his perspective on that. He also said a lot about abortions, and I'll just say abortions because, you know, YouTube. But he says that if a lady has to be the only one to pay for their abortion, then they should get an abortion. And I'm like, wow. Like, wow. Like, if the dude is not willing to help the lady out, then you should not have the child. I was like, wow. And he talked about a lot of stuff. Then he talked about how his mother was born or around in the 1940s, and how back when she was around, she couldn't go to a white dentist because she was black, and she had to get, you know, her teeth pulled out by a vet. Like, could you imagine living in those times? And that's not that long ago. That's not that long ago. He also mentioned about how his pillowcase gets dirty and how he needs to wash his pillowcase. I thought that was funny. I really did. He talked about nice women. Nice neighborhoods is where women don't work because you see the women around in town. Then he talked about, let's flip that. If you go in a neighborhood where men are rolling the streets, riding bicycles, wearing sweatpants, and all of that, then you shouldn't go there. I thought that was funny. I like how Chris Rock says he's not a victim. I like that. Chris Rock said that he wasn't going to get on Oprah crying and whimpering and all that. I like that too, right? Because, you know, for every action, there's a reaction, right? So Chris Rock is saying he's not a victim. He only started talking about Will Smith the last 8 or 7 minutes of the thing, right? But he said that Will Smith practices selective outrage. There were so many things are said about Will Smith, or has been said about Will Smith and Jada, especially ever since this entanglement thing. Like when homegirl, what's her name? The trans woman, I forget her name. She's horrible on the red carpet. I'm sorry. I'm glad she's getting work, but she's horrible on the red carpet. I forget her name. Laverne Cox. Horrible on the red carpet. Horrible. And she brought up the entanglement thing then. Now, Jada should have slapped Laverne, right? If we're so mad and don't want people to talk about it, should have slapped Laverne. What would have happened? What would have been the case if Will Smith slapped Laverne? Or if Jada slapped Laverne? Selective outrage. Selective means we're deciding to be upset about something now, not then. How many people have said something about Will Smith and this whole situation? How many people have said that Jada's the problem? None of those people got slapped. You know, selective outrage. Very selective. Chris Rock talked about how he loved Will Smith. And would watch everything that Will Smith was in, would support everything that Will Smith did, thought Will Smith was a G, right? Chris Rock says you know, everybody was asking him why he didn't hit him back or whatever. And Chris Rock says because he has parents and he was raised. And his parents taught him not to fight in front of white people. I think that said a lot. That said a lot for me when he said that, because some of y'all will never get it because a lot of y'all aren't in the entertainment industry in no form, way, or fashion. Even in my level of entertainment and being a socialite, there's just protocol practices. There's like certain ways to behave, certain ways to be. You know what I'm saying? And I just see that. Like, you're on the whitest show ever, where we've been bitching and complaining about this show being the whitest show ever. The day that it's black, this is what happens. Black people attack black people. Like, what? And in that moment, I could just imagine him like, did he really just hit me? And then all you see out in the audience is gasps and like all white people just staring at you. In your mind, you're a professional. You've been doing this for years. You're working, in your mind, you're like, yo, this really just happened? Like, what? Oh shit, we're live. It just really smacked me in front of all these people. What do I do? Fuck, what do I do? Wow. 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 Like, that's all I can't imagine. What? Police getting called. What are we talking? Like, I feel like that was the lowest thing one of the lowest things that a black person can do to another black person in that particular predicament. What? And you know what? I'm somebody that, like, Will Smith is like a king to me. Will Smith is like entertainment royalty to me. Will Smith is somebody to look up to. Will Smith is who I look up to. Will Smith is just creatively a genius, an actor that I would love to shadow. Will Smith is that guy for me. I'm not going to be that type of person that wouldn't hold his feet to the fire. No. Would I love to meet Will Smith? Oh my God, I would love to meet. Will Smith is A1, grade A to me. But wrong is wrong in my eyes. And there's a time and place for all that. And at the end of the day, if you don't respect Chris Rock and his opinion and what he said and how you felt in that moment, very selective outrage, you should have respected everybody's space. You should have respected the award show. You should have respected that a black man produced this white ass show. And on the night that happens, you decide to selectively spew your outrage on Chris Rock. But you know what? Black people are selective supporters. And they're going to support Will Smith because they're catered to an understanding of violence on us against us. If it's man on man, of course. Because if it was a woman up there that said it, like there was some women that had some jokes that night. Jada didn't get up and slap them. I think it was Regina King or Regina Hall. Regina Hall said something that night. Jada didn't get up and slap her. Why not? If you don't want, keep my name out your... You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't Regina Hall get slapped? Selective outrage. So a black man can hit another black man, but a black man better not hit no woman. A black man better not hit no white man. A black on black crime is okay. That's what black people are selectively supporting. Black on black crime. And we're going to justify it because Chris Rock said something. Now, if Dave Chappelle was on his special and a trans woman got up and commenced to try to whoop his ass, and Dave Chappelle didn't do nothing, or Dave Chappelle responded, the trans person would have been the one that's completely in the wrong, and can't nobody tell me I ain't right. Because a lot of y'all have a problem with the LGBTQ community. Don't understand it at all, and will never understand it. But I'm a part of the community though, and I can't say nothing. I watched Dave Chappelle's special, I got to shut up. Will Smith listens to Chris Rock, he gets to slap him, and it's okay. And Chris Rock shouldn't say nothing after a year because it's been too long. Chris Rock should have did something then. Chris Rock's special was funny. I laughed. Everything he said, I understood, and I feel is correct. Dave Chappelle, I didn't laugh not once. Only time I laughed or chuckled was a lesbian joint. Other than that, the thing was not funny to me. But it's okay, because I can like what I like and y'all can like what y'all like. Adopted similar connections despite my differences. But what's fact is, black people have selective supporting issues and selective outrage issues. Anytime it's regarding gays, oh, we're too sensitive. Will Smith was highly sensitive that night, and can't nobody tell me otherwise. I'm Wesley from A Connection TV, the network. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about my review of Chris Rock's Live. I thought it was hilarious. And it's #1 on Netflix. And I don't care if it's #1 because people are wanting to hate on Chris Rock and talk about Chris Rock and blah, blah about Chris Rock. Chris Rock made a coin. Chris Rock made a coin. And then at the end of the thing, he had clips of Dave Chappelle supporting him, Lou Nell supporting him, Kevin Hart supporting him, his wife, his ex-wife, and the 2 daughters at the very end. And that's really all that matters. Chris Rock got a lot of support from white and black, and that's just amazing. So shout out to Chris Rock. His special was really, really funny. It wasn't that long. And I'm happy that he was able to make a coin from being embarrassed on national television. Deuces.